Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Ladies, understand something. The top end of a woman's weight is 145 pounds. Okay. My mother's 5'9", and she was 145 pounds until she was 50. That's the top end of your weight, because there should be about a 40-pound difference between you and men.
Basically, if the guy is rich, what ends up happening is the lawyer contacts the person and be like, hey, you know, your name gonna be all in the paper, so you might as well just settle out of court.
I can recognize talent. Even if I don't agree with the politics, a lot of the politics that was underlying in the show and some of the sentiments he was trying to share, I recognize artistry when an artist is present.
Yes, this is the definition of absolutely cooked. We'll never go back and take a look at her bad decision and take accountability for any of that.
Because there is powerful people in the industry, somehow there is a different law that applies to them. And I agree with that assessment.
What's up, YouTube? Happy Monday. Peace, blessings, and glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. It's good to see y'all again on this warm Monday. What's the word? How did you start your week off so far? Has it been good to you? Has your week good to you? I hope well. I hope well. A lot has gone on over the weekend. If you pulled up to any of the streams, I appreciate you. You dig? I dropped a couple of videos today. I'm one of the most active people on YouTube right now, hands down. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Sydney, who's in the building. If you're a conspiracy theory type of person, this particular stream is going to be of interest to you. I personally love conspiracy theories. I love the idea of cracking Da Vinci's code. Jenny, salutes to you, ma'am. I appreciate you for pulling up. Please, if you have any feedback, any thoughts, any comments during the stream, comment. I don't care where you're at, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, wherever you are, tap in. We read all comments. We acknowledge everyone's point of view. Shout out to Greg Kelly, by the way. Let me go ahead and get that one out the way, because he's responsible for this particular subject. He sent me this via Messenger, and I thought that this was a little taboo, but I enjoy going into those uncomfortable spaces to talk about stuff like that, you know. So this should be a good one. I got a video that I'm going to play for everybody. We're going to tap in. Do me a solid. If you have any topics, anything that you would like to see us discuss here, me an email or DM. I'll put it on the list. We'll make it happen. Another quick announcement: my store is about to be up and running here in a little bit. I will make another announcement tomorrow. So yeah, we working. I'm gonna bring Rob up. I'm gonna bring Sydney up. Do me a solid, like, share, repost, let the people know we on. Hopefully YouTube don't get too sensitive with what I'm about to play here. And yeah, talk to me. What's the word? What's the word? Hold on. I've been trying to clear up some space up here on my laptop, man. Yo. What up?
What up, though? I said,
Talk to me.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Hustler, player. It was good, man.
yeah.
Miss Sydney, Miss Angela Lansbury. You got the book on the way.
Hey.
Good.
I've been doing pretty good. My weekend was too short after having 2 4-day weekends in a row.
How everybody feeling? How was y'all weekend?
But everything else has been pretty good.
Lovely.
The kids are good. She's watching something, and my son's at a
That's what's up. That's
what do you call it? Capoeira class. So he's finally doing something.
That's what's up. That's good to hear, man.
Yeah. Everything good, man.
Hey,
everything good. Okay. How do y'all feel about conspiracy theories? I think we kind of spoke about it off camera a little bit, but like this is actually one of those. Okay, yeah, we got one here. When Greg sent it to me, I'm like, yeah, Sydney's gonna love this one. I know Sydney's gonna love this one. I believe, Rob, you mentioned that you had a kind of interest in it too, so I'm like, oh yeah, this is perfect for that. So, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that clip up. I think it's like a minute plus. And we'll just go from there, man. Lil Nas X. I don't listen to his music. I don't really know too much about his background. Nothing. I'm familiar with his name because of, well, he got fans, and I'm not gonna sit here and say he's not popular or nothing like that. I just don't particularly listen to his type of music. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe you can fill me in or enlighten me a little bit on that one, Rob, about the dress. I don't know if it's him that has this weird thing about dressing up like a girl or whatever. I don't know if that's him or the other cat, but yeah, he has some things to say here. And all right, Jenny. Gotcha. I gotcha. I ain't gonna ramble on too much. Let me pull this up real quick. If anybody knows a little bit more background to this clip, fill me in. It's a minute 20 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. And Sydney, we'll start it off with you. Just some initial thoughts. Go to Rob, and all right. To the people that are watching, I don't know if you've seen this video before. So if you haven't, this will
be your first time, my second time watching it, and yeah, let's get it.
Friends that went to school with him and they said he was never gay. So I know for a fact like what he doing is because like they told him like you gotta do this now.
A question about the gay agenda. You thanked it at the VMAs.
I want to say thank you to the gay agenda. Let's go, gay agenda!
Right in your
What
face.
is it? How do you define the gay agenda?
The gay agenda. There's been this plan. Like, we used to go to meetings on Wednesday in black cloaks.
I was at my weekly Illuminati meeting.
Okay.
Draw like a big star and a circle on the ground.
It ain't take too long. Illuminati, man.
We have like these cups of blood. Drink it.
I don't feel like I do look that young, but if I did, it would be all the baby blood.
And we kind of like planned like world domination, like to make everyone gay.
And I'm the co-chair of the entertainment division at Disney. We've covertly been inserting queerness into our films and television shows.
The thousands and thousands of images that are fed to children by the age of 6 or 7. And within those images, there are images mixed in that we don't know about as parents.
I told you I was crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, this was not the topic I was expecting, but I'm going to enjoy it.
I told you it was going to be a little left field. Let me preface it and then I'll pass it on. Because like for me, I tell y'all honestly, like YouTube is filled with theories about the Illuminati, about teleportation, about cloning, time travel, sacrificing goats and all types of weird shit. And I know some of that stuff is is overly exaggerated, but to be honest with you, there are things that I find to substantiate some of these claims, even though it comes off as ridiculous. It might be a little more dramatic than typical. What are your thoughts on the video? What are your thoughts on like just the overall YouTube experience when it comes to theories such as this? And
I've heard of these theories before. I've heard of the like hidden subliminal messaging is getting to our children. Like I've also I've heard it as much from the anti-homophobia crowd as I have also heard it from the like super hyper religious crowd where they're like, oh, there's the demon and everything. You can hear the devil singing if you play this song backwards and yada. Like they have all these weird theories of like they're wearing the color black, so that means they're the demon or something. So I'm very familiar with all of these theories. And as you said, I'm more than certain most of these are highly exaggerated, if not they're either going to be like accidental, like they didn't mean to draw it like that, or I mean the producers are going to put in things in children's movies that appeal to the parents because they already know that the parents are going to be dragged along to these kid movies that the parents may or may not already want to see, and so they're going to be like, oh, I have to sit through this 1.5 hour stupid kids movie. And so these producers know that. So they put in adult jokes into these kid movies because they know there's going to be adults there. And for the most part, it should go over the kids' heads. That's why they're very subtle jokes because it's only going to be obvious to the parents. I think really the problem is parents have given their children unfettered access to the internet as early as like One. I've seen people giving their babies like iPads for their month-old birthday. Like, it's ridiculous. People give their kids so much access to this technology. I was young not too long ago. Like, I still remember all the stuff that I looked up and found on the internet that I was not supposed to be seeing at 13 or 14. So I think a huge component of this issue is the access to actually malignant content. They want there to be really, like, I could understand that there could be hidden messaging in movies. I know that companies will do that. They'll hide product placements. They'll encourage certain ideology within movies and stuff like that. But I'm less inclined to believe that it's some underground organization trying to convert people. And I think it's more so just average people wanting to spread the word about something that they know is marginalized or talked about negatively. And so I've noticed it a lot more in movies from probably around 2008 and up is when I started to see movies start to switch to the more like culturally open understanding, like we need to share the world and be happy, and like the very like ignore the bad stuff and let's all be happy together type of content. And like we're all gay and we're all like, they did go a little bit overboard in kids movies, because I don't think the kid, like under a certain age, they're not old enough to understand the concept of being gay and being trans and being all of these things, because it's an age appropriate thing. Like it's, you don't start exploring your sexuality until you've hit puberty. And so technically, even if kids understand the words gay and lesbian and what it means dictionary wise, they still don't quite actually understand what that's all about, because unless their parents have exposed them to that content early, they shouldn't understand the implications of what it actually means to be gay, like realistically. So I definitely think there's some underground stuff, because I mean, there's too many conspiracies and of like the hyper rich and the underground societies of these hyper rich people controlling and paying to make sure that things happen and whatever. I believe that, because I believe that people with money do have the capacity to manipulate things without us knowing about it behind the scenes. I definitely believe that wholeheartedly. I don't know how I feel about I've heard all of the stuff about the sacrificing and like the demon worship and stuff like that. The parties. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some celebrities that were eccentric enough to do stuff like that, but I don't have a hard time believing that it's like widespread, that they're all doing this, and that just behind the scenes all of these Hollywood actors are like murdering babies and like doing Latin chants and stuff. I don't know if I believe all that. But yeah, I would not put it past the rich to have some weird ritual society thing. I mean, we have plenty that are mysterious, like the Freemasons and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know about all the other stuff.
Yo, what up, everybody? I gotta be more careful every week messing with you, Deep, man. I still got bills, man. I got bills to pay, bro. Trying to take me there. Had a tap in my line. But no, I'm a conspiracy theorist all the way down to the rabbit hole. Far as Lil Nas X, one day I had looked up. You know how you look up something on the internet sometimes, and then you find it once, but you can't never find it again? I had looked up, I Googled to see if he was if he was the only black country singer to have a hit like that. And I don't know if it was the 50s, 60s, or the 70s. I'm trying to find it now. There was a black country singer who was acted as a cowboy, and he had a hit on the charts for as long as Old Town Road was on. And this was way back though, and nobody speaks of him. And it's funny, the day that I found it, I can't find it no more. It was like this one guy, he had the whole image of the country singer, the cowboy, everything. So the Old Town Road, you know, they're like, well, he paid $39 for the beat. He put it on SoundCloud, blah, 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 blah. But for that song to take off, knowing the industry now, it had to be some backing. He had to have some kind of backing for it to take off for that long. Because I've been told I made like 80, 90 songs so far. Probably only about 15 of them is hits. But since I started rapping, they said all you need is one song to change your life. Nothing's changed yet. And it went from make one hot song to make one hot video to now all you need websites, you need this, to finding out or you need $200,000-$300,000 to get on the radio. If I had $200,000, I wouldn't be rapping. You know what I'm saying? I'd be selling houses or something, opening, you know, it might be Charlie Pride, it might be. But if I had all that money, I probably wouldn't be rapping. I didn't start rapping until I realized that I'm never gonna make the money that I desire doing what I do now. I also was told that the government, the federal government, has a movie and media budget where they use things, they produce movies to shape the culture, shape the people's minds. And we know that as far as being black, well, calling yourself black or whatever, that a lot of those movies have been lopsided for years. And we know that the I ain't gonna say black, I'm gonna say the male of African descent has been a target in these movies. I'm gonna say the black woman, the person of color of African descent, I gotta try and be politically correct, has been targeted in many ways, to where even the way it just dawned on me the other day that the Black Panthers did not break the laws, right? And the way they were eliminated was totally illegal. We got this guy in office right now, who was a convicted felon. So I'm definitely for the I believe to a certain extent, I'm like you, Sydney, to where I don't know exactly who's what, but I know that there's a group effort to push this kind of programming on the people, especially the kids. What I'm thinking about Lil Nas X is like, where is he now? You know what I'm saying? Because, and I'm hoping he don't never have to work again, right? But like he went totally off the deep end. You know what I'm saying? Like with the devil stuff and all of this. So it's like, you know, I don't know, but I know there's backing, and I believe that a lot of the negativity is still pointed towards us.
Also, the
you know what I always think about? Go ahead.
I was just gonna add.
You're saying
Also, yeah, the LGBT community is also, because I've noticed with the LGBT community, they're very typecasted. Like they're put into roles where they are kind of made into a certain person. Like there's always like the butch lesbian, and then there's the like super flamboyant gay guy, and I think that also kind of sends a message, because even it like, to be accepting is also to understand that people aren't going to fall into the same categories all the time. Like people aren't going to all dress the same and all act the same based on the groups that they're in. And so the typecasting also does people a disservice. Even though you're putting those lifestyles out there, you're making visions about living that lifestyle impossible, because you're basically showing them, this is what the gay lifestyle looks like, this is what the black lifestyle looks like, this is what the white / Hispanic lifestyle, like they try to put people in all these boxes and be like, this is how you should live if you're this way. But by creating this on pervasively throughout the media, like commercials, TV, in books, on billboards, everything, it makes kids think that, well, that's what everyone else is doing, so I have to follow that too, even if it makes me uncomfortable, even if it doesn't align with who I am. That's what is that you basically see what, like, you become what you see. And so if you see all of these roles but don't see other forms of that, you're going to follow only what you see. And so, as we've said, these people have incredible power to manipulate us to act a certain way, to hate certain groups, to engage in certain activities, all sorts of things, encouraging us to do what they want us to do, just from all of the media.
Have you ever looked at your career or just your jobs, right? And it's every job that I've ever been on, there was always a specific type. You had the manager, supervisor, who had like this stern, I'm cool, but I am favoritism to specific people. And if you kind of operate under what I want for you and how I choose to run my shift or whatever, then you got an opportunity to move up faster than the next person. Then you have it's like you see the same person on every job. You got the one who don't do no work, but they're funny, they're fun. You like to hang out with them because they can make your day go by faster, but they don't really do too much of shit. You end up doing more work than they do. Then you got the one who work hard, but they get the short end of the stick. It's like the same prototype that goes from just a regular 9-to-5 job to music, to Hollywood, where it's like somebody like Rob, they put their heart and soul into their stuff, and for whatever reason, the traction doesn't get to them like it should, unless something ties you into another entity that can push you through them doors faster. How often or how many people do you know, bro, that work as hard as you and make it without having connections to somebody who's already beyond the gates? How many people, Sydney, do you know who have achieved and accomplished all of their ambitions and goals that didn't have somebody already there waiting for them to help them get through there? This is not very often that happens for people. And so, you know, with this video and the power of suggestion, when I was watching Arthur and the Magic School Bus, I didn't get. I tell you what. I didn't see lesbianism. I didn't see homosexuality. Now, what I will say, I did notice with the Magic School Bus, you had an Asian kid, you had a black kid, you had an Indian kid. You did have multifaceted cultures within the show, but the way that they went about the production, there was no stereotypes. I didn't notice any kind of.
Even the parents were diverse. There's a couple episodes where they show the parents. In one of the parents, one of them's blind and he uses like a cane. There's another parent, I think, that was in a wheelchair. And then even the parents, like some of them were multiracial. Like one of the parents was white and the other one was black, or like vice versa. They've even made all of the characters, not just the kids themselves, but even the parents were made to be different and have different personalities and stuff like that. Now everyone just seems like they have the same personalities too.
I mean,
it goes back to something you said too. I just want to, I want to acknowledge something that Sydney said real quick about how they categorize people who are into the same gender. It's no different than them saying that you have to be a certain complexion to work at a specific job. Like when you go to fill out that application and it tells you to check all whether or not you're white, black, or whatever, or then it says other. Why is that necessary? What's the point of that? You know what I'm saying? I do see it as programming. When you're making shows and you got this guy, what was it, Dahmer and Greg? I believe it was either Dahmer or Greg, or it's one of them shows where the guy was super gay, super flamboyant. Hey there. He was all over the place, bubbly, like real, like eccentrically over the top gay. And I'm like, bro, really? And then like it's wild to me. I'm not going to say that people are sitting up here cutting off fingers and toenails and things like that, but I do believe there are some practices that are being done right in our face that we think is associated with something else. I think you're about to say something, bro. I don't want to cut your wisdom, so I'll yield the mic.
Now, so we in this cancel culture thing, right? In the soundbite era, right? But when you think back, I'm thinking back, and it's when they showed one time the old Mickey Mouse cartoons, which was real dirty. The old Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and all that. It was. You think about Winnie the Pooh. People be breaking down Winnie the Pooh now. Scooby-Doo. Remember Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
Sneaking off to get busy. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, whatever. So a lot of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Even they turned it around. Like, so you even look at Batman. Batman ride around with a black mask on all day. You feel me? Only Superman, all of those are lawbreakers. They break the law, but they're able to have their super heroics or whatever and their powers. Yep, Popeye. They still able to have their powers, and the only thing was that I would think probably besides the Magic School Bus, there was no other cartoon that really represented everyone like that back in the days. And back in the days, like before that, remember those in those cartoons back in the day, people was dying. So I think there's definitely a push. So when I think about Hollywood, I think about it from a perspective, again, my auntie used to work at Broadway in shows like Cats. That's the main one she did. She would be backstage. She did La Cage aux Falls, Phantom of the Opera, you name it. The roller skating one, I forget the name of it. I think it was like Starlight Express or something. But I remember being backstage, and even when the actors acted as heterosexuals, when they came backstage, 99% of them were gay. If they wasn't gay, they was lesbian. And that was just a cultural thing. So I'm guessing that Hollywood is similar, right? But the programming is real to a certain extent, because you can influence children. You can influence people to make these decisions. And I think until now, there was an agenda to, and it might still be the same, but I believe there was to emasculate certain groups. Like I said, I gotta be real careful how I word this, but I believe in my heart that it was like that. Just like I could put it like this in action terms. In the movies, a lot of times, an action movie, let's put an action movie together. You might shoot one assailant one way, you might shoot him one time, and then you might kill this person another way. But the black one, he gonna get blowed up. Or remember in all of the old movies, the black people die first. You know what I'm saying? It just got to a point. I think LL was the first black person to survive in the shark movie. I forgot the name of the shark movie. He was like the first. And so we're now there allowing
Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea. Yeah, they was. He was like the first one. You know what I'm saying, to survive. But back in the days, man, the people of color was always the first ones to get the business. So with bringing it back to Nas X, I think that to a certain extent it sells. That community, they support each other. And I ain't mad. I'm not mad at all. I do believe how far he went there hurt him though. Because again, I don't see him. You know what I'm saying? I don't really see him no more. I definitely haven't heard any new music. I heard a few songs just to listen, to say, okay, what's going on? But at the end of the day, that was a fast rise. And not to say he fell. It was a fast rise, but then at the same time, I don't see him too much.
I honestly think there's influence in everything. I mean, we've covered this before. What he's speaking on sounds purposeful and systematic. One thing I do want to acknowledge is the way that the clip looks. You know that somebody pieced it all together. Like they took portions of an interview he had, and they took pieces of conversations that were had with other people, and they blended them in all at once so that it would come off as one thing. And really, we could be taking all of it out of context. I just want to be fair about it, even though they're blatantly saying we're putting certain images and certain like statements and conversations within these cartoons to influence kids. And he's basically saying, oh, we're doing the same thing. So even if you want to make the argument that this is a chopped up video and they're just really good at editing and making it sound like this or that, does it really take away from the fact that you can be influenced by music? The cartoons definitely aren't what they used to be growing up. Power Rangers wasn't like this. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles wasn't like this.
So, and I'll be the first to tell you, I wanted to be a Power Ranger. I wanted to do the backflips, and I wanted to morph in time and transform and shit. I wanted to get in. I wanted to meet Zordon and all that shit. So that's it. It does affect people. Like I'm still a kid at heart. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
You gotta admit though, they are still all different colors.
I think one of the leaders apologized just now though, because I think he put like the Black Ranger in the black uniform. They said back in the days he did something to, or the Asian Ranger. He put the Asian Ranger in something that made it was like stereotypical. I think he just came out and he or she came out and apologized for that. Yeah, like I said, man,
but is it really a real apology or this one? You know, like with media, and I'm just gonna be honest. Every time someone does something that steps out of the norm, and then they come back and try to retract their statements, I always think to myself, oh yeah, somebody got on your helmet about this. They told you to go ahead and apologize, or something's going to happen to you, or you're going to lose out on this or whatever. And then after that, I don't think that's for every case, but media is so controlled. How can you really tell the difference between someone who on script, off script, and who's really being genuine about what they feel empathy for?
Bro, let me. It says in the USA Today, Power Rangers writer calls casting Black and Asian actors as Black and Yellow Rangers a mistake. And this was updated April 10th. I guess he's saying that he was fulfilling the stereotypes, and he's sorry about it. Yeah, you know, with the apologies and all that, they know what's up, man. Like I said, back in the days, I had this conversation with a guy, and I don't know if everyone's seen it, but the movie Blazing Saddles. But I guess before Trump came back, Blazing Saddles probably would have got canceled bad. You know what I'm saying? Early, because the rhetoric and the lines in that movie was crazy. And to where now they try to like block that kind of language from, you know, coming out. But now we got Trump, so we got a little more, I guess, a little more freedom of speech thanks to him. So things are going backwards, but we know what was up. You had a lot of those cartoons, there wasn't too many, unless you did act like that. We didn't have nothing. Like when they canceled the Cosby Show, we didn't have nothing. Like everything went like lopsided. We had Different World. We had similar shows to where now, even in Florida right here, you can't teach Black history. Then this guy said slaves benefited. The slaves wouldn't have benefited if they wasn't slaves. They got all of their skills from being slaves. And he said slavery benefited Black people because they would not have got those positions if they wasn't slaves. This guy said this is where the woke come to die. So that stuff is back full form. It never really went nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But we know back in the days about buck breaking. This stuff is actual factual, and this is a reason why they're trying to knock this stuff out the history books, because if you really teach this people, then teach this to people, then people will be able to think for themselves and think critically. And this is a time right now, especially with attention spans being so short, that this is not what they want. I think they want to go back to the status quo and get back to where you said, Deep, to where if you're not acting this certain way, then you won't be allowed. And I think that for us, it's a lot of it's a safety mechanism. You know what I'm saying? Probably being sensitive, being docile. I mean, it's even taught in the Bible, right? If somebody slap you, don't slap them back. If somebody hates on you, wipe the dust off your feet 7 times, 7,000 times. In the Bible, it said, be a good slave to your master. Like, all of this stuff, even the way the Bible was written, right? We know for a fact has been used to in certain cases, I'm not going to say by everybody, it has been used to subjugate specific groups of people, to oppress specific groups of people, and then to justify the oppression. You know what I'm saying? So to a certain extent, I'm gonna keep going back to Nas X. Like, what he did is sold. But what my thing was, okay, was he planning on having a long career? You know what I'm saying? Well, what because like he went real fast, like he went left real fast, like it was to where right Jenny over there, shouts to you, Jenny. Get busy on the boards. Bro went from take his girl to that was about a man to now you're on a war show, then you said you're not gay, and then you started dealing with the devil and all, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever the case, I look at it like this. Like, first of all, I don't want to be famous. That's first. Second of all, my closet is horrible. The only thing saving grace that I have now is that I've changed. And if I have to take a similar route, then I don't want that at all. I just wanted to be able to do something that I like doing, that I felt could help me free my family. If I have to put on a dress, if I have to put on lipstick, it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? There's no amount of dollars that I could see to make me do that, especially for my children. And that's no knock to him. But since we talking conspiracy, you think about these people that did it, which is nothing, even to a point where was it Dave Chappelle? First he said he didn't put on a dress, but then they caught him years later. He put on a dress. And then Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element, he was going crazy. Martin Lawrence did the Big Mama, that hit. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Perry he's a billionaire now. You know what I mean? So to a certain extent, that ain't even really, I don't even know if that's a conspiracy. It's just a fact that sells. And nope, it's nothing new, because we had back in the days, Flip Wilson. He was doing it, dressing up as a woman. And then there was some other guys that, you know, that was doing it. I don't know, I digress.
I'm trying to choose my words carefully, but not really care about it. Everybody who said they wasn't going to put on that dress, they went on ahead and did it. You know the requirements, what you have to give up for that money.
for that popularity. Look at where Diddy is right now. He got a case that is coming up here on the 5th, and he's trying to get rid of the Cassie tape. He doesn't want that played in court. Well, you think about all the accusations and the evidence that they've probably pulled from that house and the things that had to go on, it's hard to convince me that there isn't a level of spirituality attached to the behavior patterns associated with some of the activities that went down at those parties. There's too many videos, testimonies of folks speaking spiritually about how music affects you. And if you've ever had any type of conversations with somebody or read a post or a tweet, and they would say, music is my therapy. Why is music your therapy? Matter of fact, let's touch on that one just for a second. Why does music bring any type of peace to you or any type of level-headedness to you? What is it about the melody and about the lyrics that triggered you to be at, you had a long day, you just want to unwind, and you don't want to listen to gospel music, but you want to listen to some turn up music? Why are you wired to listen to turn up music when you've been stressed out? Why wouldn't you want to listen to something that's going to actually calm your nerves versus something that's going to take you up higher than where you already were?
I think it comes down to
Most
the
of this stuff
chemicals that are being craved. Because if you're craving peace and quiet and like silence, your brain is more likely going to be seeking serotonin. Where if you're looking for like excitement and like I need to bring myself up here, that's dopamine. So I think it likely comes down to the types of chemicals that these songs release for us. There's probably other factors such as like an emotional connection to the song that reminds you of a certain time. Maybe it also has a physiological effect on us, like the sensation of the beat, the music itself, the tones, the sound waves will also have an effect on our emotions and our bodies. And so there's a lot of reasons why, but I think it does come down to the reaction of our body itself to the music and how that kind of uplifts us when we're low dopamine or not feeling too great.
Yeah, I think it's the frequency. Probably like if you was, raised to it, because babies come out dancing. It's the drums, the melody, and if the song just happened to connect. Like I don't never gotta watch TV again, but my music, I gotta hear my music. Especially, I can tell y'all times I watch. I don't know who's in the verses, but I watched the Premier versus RZA versus, and I cried. Like I bull cried because I didn't even know that I didn't know Primo had so many hits, but when they went, there was so many songs that to a certain extent, the rappers was my parents, you know what I'm saying? The influence a lot of times they gave us the game that we wouldn't normally get. In certain situations. So I know for a fact that's why I started rapping, and I tried to make music that you want to rewind over and over and over again. When I hear my favorite songs, I can remember solving problems to my favorite songs. Like I even give you one, Lauryn Hill, Reciprocity. I remember being in trouble, getting myself in trouble, and listening to that song all night long, figuring out in my head how I was gonna get myself out of trouble. So definitely that frequency has the ability to either to put you in a certain emotional state. Devin the Dude, I listen to that whenever I'm stressed out. I put on Devin the Dude music every time. Works every time. I had the worst day in the world, and there's certain songs that I could hear from him, and I just calm all the way down. So I try to emulate that. But to answer your question, I think that frequency, it resonates in people from birth, and especially if your parents was listening to music while you was in the womb, it's probably gonna resonate even more because it's nothing like hearing your favorite song. And I'm the type of person, I gotta hear my favorite song before I go to work, before I go to sleep. If it's in my head, I gotta hear it. Or sometimes I'll be sleep thinking about the song lyrics to my favorite artists. You almost feel like they family, and it's crazy because I never seen, I never met any of them a day in my life, but it's that the power of that music is awesome.
It can seriously help people get through some deep trauma. I always use music, especially in the past when I was younger, to get through some really difficult times too. So it can serve as like motivation, almost like what you said, where it almost feels like they become family. Like you can look to them and seek advice from the music and seek comfort even when nobody else is there to offer you that. So it's almost like a connection to people without having to actually like be with people. You can just kind of experience it through the music.
It's a dangerous.
I want to say this real quick.
Go ahead.
I think that's what, in my opinion, I think that's what drove Michael Jackson crazy. Because when he'd do a show in front of 50,000 people, they'd be falling out, passing out, fainting. And then if he went in a place like Walmart, they'd be like, man, if you don't get out of here, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was crazy. Kind of like how they did Jesse Owens, to where when he went and got the gold medals in track and came back, he couldn't even go through the front of the theater to receive his award. But I think that drove Michael Jackson crazy because it was like you could get he could just come off the stage and make all of these people pass out. But then if he tried to go eat at this diner, they'd be like, bro, if you don't, we don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? You in this sundown town. If you don't get out this sundown town, I think that had a crazy effect. I had to get that off before I forgot it.
When I heard Lil Nas X say that the agenda and the goal was to turn people to the other side, and then it was followed up with them sitting in that room talking about how they put that stuff in the TV. I'll put it like this. If you aren't mentally strong, and it probably wouldn't even make a difference. If you don't have a relationship with God, you can be worn down by the things that you listen to. I'm not saying this applies to everybody. So what I am saying is people have listened to Scarface and then they wanted to be the greatest drug dealer in the world. People have listened to Jennifer Lopez and Beyonce, and they think that they're this type of person, but you don't live that way. Music absolutely does affect people. It might not affect you the same way, but it does turn people into something that they aren't. And I don't really know if that is taken in consideration, because it's like, oh, it's just music. It's just beat, sound, and just somebody that's good vocally. There's no harm in it. But that's where the deception comes in. Just like if you're looking at a cartoon and you just think it's a cartoon, nah. I think the first time I ever had the WTF face, the first cartoon that ever made me question, why is this in here? It was probably, I think, when Adult Swim got introduced, and I know there was some things prior to that, but there was some shows that I saw and it had hints of innuendo in it. And I didn't understand, why are cartoons talking like this? This is me 10, 11 years old. Oh, see, you fast forward. Matter of fact, The Simpsons. The Simpsons, even back then, like, The Simpsons have been out for decades. And they were talking about stuff that was going on out here that I had no idea at a very, very young age. American Dad, South Park, all of those are extreme. The Boondocks, but that's we're talking about 2020 up. I'm going all the way back to like 97, 98. I don't even remember when Family Guy came out, or South Park, because I never was a South Park person. But yeah, let me just try to steer us back to the topic itself. I do believe that they do it. I don't know if they're sacrificing human beings and all that. I do believe, based on a lot of the content that I've seen. Good luck. Damn, that long? 99. Damn, Duckman. I will say, based on some of the videos I've done, I've covered, I did a reaction video on a woman who got killed because she was driving a truck. And she went to get gas for the truck. She noticed that something about the back of the thing that's supposed to be closed, something was hanging out the back of it. And she went to go investigate it, lifted it up, found out that there were deleted children stuffed to the top of the truck. All deleted children. And like, I know it sounds hard to believe, but that's stuff like that convinces me that things that he spoke on has truth to it, whether or not people want to believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? Humans are extremely sick out here, and you don't really know how far someone will go for success, how far someone will go to maintain their celebrity,
how far someone will go to keep the ends around their brand. I'm not going to speculate on how far. I'm not going to say they dance around a fire. Oh yeah, I'm not going to do all that. But I do believe that there are things that happen within the privacy of some people's households. I think people practice dark magic. I think people practice sorcery. I think people speak wickedly, purposely out of their mouth and try to curse others. I do believe in all of that. But that's just from my own point of view, from what I've seen and experienced. But yeah, I digress. I yield the mic if anybody has anything they want to add in addition to any of this, because I mean,
I believe in hazing.
Yeah, it was cartel related. It was.
Yeah, I believe in. Not say I don't support hazing, but I think every organization, every industry has its hazing. Meaning there are certain rituals, certain practices that people might use to carry on tradition. I definitely believe that. I believe that a lot of times the negativity in the media, in the movies, in the music is programmed towards people of color, people that speak different languages. Even Leo Cohen admitted he didn't. The music exec, he didn't have a problem with the black artists killing each other in all the songs. He didn't come out against it until Kanye said something about the Jewish culture. Then all of a sudden he wrote this letter. But for years and years, the gangster rap has been used, I believe, was used to bolster the prison system. To a certain extent, it sells. So I don't knock nobody that does it, because I don't even knock Lil Nas X, bro. Like, he made that pay, he got his bag. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't know. The only thing I would say for him again is, where is he now? I hope he's doing okay, because we know that in certain cases, think like, and I'm going around the world, but think about SpongeBob when they show like the hidden meanings in SpongeBob for all those years. A lot of times, if you knew that, you probably wouldn't have you. And we watched, unconsciously, like, you had to watch SpongeBob. So wherever you went, you could be in a restaurant and SpongeBob on, and a lot of that was like real graphic. A lot of stuff on Nickelodeon. We had Nickelodeon. A lot of little weird stuff going on. And I'm with you to where I believe that, a lot of this stuff, the negative aspects of the culture are either blamed on people of color or pushed on them, to where, like you said, you have to be this way, and not just them. White woman, I noticed they take a large brunt of it, and it's crazy now because it's like you either in or you out. We don't have that balance anymore. Even the Black series, a lot of time, I used to always be like, why is everybody a snitch? Like, why is everybody that came into power a snitch? Like, everybody black. Like, every show that I watch, it seems like, but then I realized, that's the culture. But you're right. I'm gonna say this before I get a mic up. You ever want to see my alter ego? I play Cameron, and I feel like I am the hustlingest person in the world. And then I definitely watched The Godfather and felt like I wanted to be like Vito, you know. I wanted to be like Mikey, you know what I'm saying? So I know the impact it does have, and it's real, for real.
Oh, two things I wanted to add. I thought of this a while ago, so not exactly on topic, but another thing I remember from the video that I was watching about the conspiracy about all the stuff in movies, I remember that there's also especially among like old white women, they get very upset about any appearance of male infrastructure on TV. Like if cartoons have the male anatomy showing in the cartoon, old white ladies lose their minds. Like like the Catholic crowd, they cannot handle it. I remember there was a whole section where they talked about all the cartoons that showed off the male body parts and how sinful that was to tempt children and show them the male genitalia that naturally belongs on every human being. So there's that, and then also a lot of the shows that they show kids also feature parents being complete idiots. Like they make the parents be these like bumbling, I don't know where I'm going, I'm going to make all these mistakes. The kids have to take care of me and fix my messes because I don't know what I'm doing. And I think that also contributes to this, like kids feeling the need to be more grown up than they are, because we're literally showing them movies where the parents don't know anything. And so we wonder why the parents are like, I don't want to listen to you. You don't know anything, because all their TV shows tell them that the parents don't know anything. I see it from kids shows ranging from like little kid shows all the way up to like shows for teenagers, high school students, college students, and even stuff for adults can feature parents that are being infantilized. For example, Gilmore Girls, it's a whole TV show about a mother and a daughter that arguably don't have good boundaries. And the mother gets her daughter into all sorts of trouble. And they have a lot of like bickering behavior. The mom doesn't want to grow up. She has all these emotional issues. The daughter has to remedy them. So we also not only have illogical representation of people based on their culture, but we also have an illogical representation of people based on their roles in society, their roles to each other, and their obligation to be a put together human being. So I think that's another thing that really has to be worked on, is featuring parents that are actually effective, because that doesn't just affect the kids, but it also affects the parents, because there's this expectation set now, like this is what parenthood looks like, this is how you should act as a parent. And clearly something is wrong with how parenthood is portrayed today, because of the massive number of parents today that treat their kids like a social media experiment, where everything they do for their child is this big blown out, like people spending, I'm not even kidding, $10,000 on Easter baskets, this Easter basket pyramid for her 2 kids. Or people like putting on a birthday party for a 1-year-old that has like a ball pit and a pony and like all these party games and like a giant 4-level cake that nobody's going to finish anyway. Like, it's ridiculous. And I think we've kind of shifted to a culture where children are now accessories rather than family members. Like, parents today, especially the ones that are addicted to social media, use their kids as like as they would with a purse or a pair of shoes, where they're like, look at my daughter, look at her in this Gucci outfit, look at this backpack that I got her, and this like Rio de Janeiro perfume for my 4-year-old daughter. It's it's crazy. And I definitely think social media, the media itself has a lot to do with this shift of portrayal, where parents are no longer the face of reason, the person that you like. They had a more like Law and Order feel to them prior to the 80s. Like the parents were the ones that put the foot down, and they were strict, and like they're no you're not going to argue with me. And now we just kind of have so many parents pandering to their children, like, whatever you want, I'll get it. If it's not right, I'll get you more. Like it's crazy. And again, I think a lot of it comes from TV and this really inaccurate portrayal of what the American family actually looks like.
Yeah, the other side of the movies is the kids that don't listen until they're in trouble. And then when they act like they don't need their parents and and then things hit the fan. And now they miss their parents, and if they make it through the end, then they love, I should have listened to you, I mean, like I said earlier, the typecasting and those roles, they're prevalent. Like it's certain like they brought Indiana, they keep bringing Indiana Jones back. They bring like all of these movies, you would think that they would just let go. They always find a way to reboot them. You know what I mean? And to let us know that the tradition stands strong. And again, I think it's more nothing new because just everybody got the camera now. I think the parents are negotiating with the kids. A lot of times they're giving them too many options. They're treating them like adults, treating them like partners rather than children, to a point where a lot of times now you can't even say nothing to them. Or you can't do anything. They're so fragile to where you could, you know what I mean? You try to teach them like the world is not going to keep bringing you back and allowing you back like your parents will. But at the same time, you know, you got to deal with them with kid gloves now because they're so highly emotional. But I don't think nothing really is new. They've been, you know, I think here, everybody want to fit in, like you know what I mean? Everybody gotta, and the social media allows you to live out that side to where it's like, yep, Home Alone, that was the first one I was thinking of. Everybody has those two sides that the social media allows people to portray. Like you don't see, maybe some people, you don't see people putting their bad stuff out on social media a lot, except on Facebook. But back to the programming, yeah, I think a lot of it is still prevalent, and I think that if we haven't, we went backwards to now. If you don't typecast yourself into one of those styles of people, it'll be very hard for you to be successful in today's society. And I believe that to be true in any industry. Especially now with this guy getting in office, that's like, you know, they should allow felons to vote now. You know what I'm saying? And that's totally off topic. So I get a mic up before I get too crazy.
You good? Hey, look, man. It's all of it is systematic. Movies, radio, the Steve Harvey morning show, all of it in its own way every TV show that I've ever watched, they always had that one stupid man who didn't know up from down. You had who was you had Waldo, you had Cole from Martin. You had it's at least there was a list. I think I made a community post. It's like it's more than 6, but it was a list of them. All of them just didn't have a brain, and it was like, how is that possible? How do you even accept playing that role? And I get it. The reason why you got it set up like that is because you want to subliminally say, well, there's people in your friend group who act like that. You have a Harriet, you have a Carl Winslow, you have a Steve Urkel, you have a butch chick that act like she's a whole dude. You got the stereotypical drug dealer. You got all this stuff, and over time, they just slowly eased it in. It went from, you notice it went from wholesome, and then it started getting edgy over time, and now we are borderline adult content on regular programming. We're not that far from it. So it's something to think about, especially if you are consistent on social media and you're consuming certain stuff, or you have a certain, I don't know. It's just me, but I really feel like there's a lot of sorcery and a lot of things that happen in the dark that's being practiced, and it's the cause for a lot of why people are malfunctioning mentally. I'm trying to be political, but not too political, because it's just the stuff that I believe, like as far as like aliens and all that. If they have water on other planets, what's to say they don't have some type of life? It might not be the alien versus predator type of thing. They have some type of life, So my final thoughts is I think the world is a lot sicker than people really realize it is. And you should be a little more cautious and more aware of what you're consuming. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think overall, the takeaway message I would summarize this with is just to be cautious about what you show your children. Be aware of the lessons that the show may be conveying to your kids, whether or not it was planned or not. Because no matter what, every show, every movie, everything that you're going to show your kid, it's going to teach them something. And you're never going to be able to fully keep them from learning about the things that they're eventually going to learn about. And it's important to not keep things from them, because kids as I said, they'll eventually learn. And so you want to make sure that you can be there to guide them when they do start learning these things. And by things, I mean like sexuality and mortality and a lot of the big type issues that will come up in conversation later as questions that a lot of parents are nervous to answer. But yeah, so be wary of what type of media comes up, but also don't be afraid to address those questions if they do come up. Because honestly, the worst thing we can do is try and keep this from our kids so they end up finding out from the media or from their friends or from other places that may misconstrue the ideas or teach them in a way that could be harmful for your child, whether it's bigotry towards those groups of people or just misinformation that leads your child to make poor choices. So yeah, overall, just pay attention to what they're watching. Make sure that it's acceptable content for them, and then make sure to address any of the content topics or issues that do come up when they're watching, so they can stay mentally healthy.
And I'm thinking balance, right? They say we are what we eat. You also are what you consume a lot of the times. If not, you become it. You could think these things into process. So I would say balance. I mean, it's entertainment. For the kids, we got to teach the kids that it's entertainment. Like, I wish we would could show more of the background stuff of what these what a lot of the celebrities are doing. The like even when they show the athletes, the professional athletes, they show them balling. They show Steph Curry scoring 30, 40 points a game, but they don't show the 1,000 shots he had to take in the gym, or when he was shooting the ball till he couldn't lift his arms no more. They show the rappers with the Lamborghini and the jewelry and all this, but they don't show you actually how hard rappers work. Rappers putting in 80 to 100 hours a week in the studio, exhausted from touring, exhausted from doing interviews, not being able to spend time with their families, not being able to have positive relationships because of what they sacrifice. A lot of times we show the glamour and glitz of everything, but we don't show that the other side of the work that had to be put in, or the sacrifices. Even if it's on a negative, we need to show that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so okay, what did you do for it to get here? A lot of that has, and now everybody's doing it. It's crazy that 10, 20 years later, like you even mentioned Diddy, like people are going around just to tell his stories, and they getting paid for that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like, where was you 20 years ago? Whoop, whoop. But I think we need to add some balance, and then we need to follow the dollars, because if things are being, I see that the Trump administration tried to take off information about the Tuskegee Airmen, tried to take off information about Rosa Parks. So one thing I want to say is too, we need to find who the they is. Like we quick to say they, but we got to kind of follow the money and see who is actually pulling these strings in order to be able to, if like I said, it's a lot of entertainment. So, and that stuff sells. So maybe not necessarily knock it out, but to see, okay, to identify that perspective, to where is this coming from? Who is controlling this narrative? And is it helpful or harmful? Because like I said, for old boy, Lil Nas X, like that was like a quick come up, and then what appears to be a spiral. And from what I've seen, I hope that he's doing okay, because that was a lot, and I could see how that could drive a person crazy. Jenny, shouts to you. you mentioned Ye. That's heartbreaking to me to see what he's going through, and in a lot of cases he did expose some truths. But right now, a lot of times we are, instead of reaching out to that man and saying, hey, you know, you need a hug, or let me give you a hug, or let's get you some help. A lot of times, you know, he's being made a mockery, and he's clearly, it could be acting too, because like I look at Kodak too. Like sometimes I look at Kodak Black and I'm like, is he acting? But in the time right now where we at a time right now where if someone is dying, we'll tape it. If someone is hurting, we'll videotape it. We'll laugh. And I don't think that's good for a person like Kanye. I think right now, like, people kind of need to put their arms around him, because that to a certain extent, like, he was like a parent to us as well. And then now everybody's laughing, and we laugh at these people's pain. And I don't really think that's a good thing, because God give, God take away, and also what go up come down. And at this point, we need balance, because I don't think kicking a person while they down, or watching people unravel and sitting there and making a mockery of it. Like the first thing I told you, I said, yo, I ain't gonna be on here bashing nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, everybody has their day. So I think, you know, we gotta find out who the they is, so that we can be more accurate and have more equal programming, to where, okay, if you're gonna have that, whatever that sells, but we're gonna have this side too. And that's why I'm happy. I'm happy that we're doing this on Mondays, to provide that balance for people.
Good show. Good show. Shout out to Jenny. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Sydney and everybody that's watching. Spiritual warfare is real. Don't put anything past a human being who wants to maintain control and power. Stop sleeping on the devil. We don't have to associate everything with him, but he is constant. He works harder than most of us, put it that way. He's at it from sun up to sundown, constantly in our face, in our ear. But are you really paying attention to it? Can you spot it? If it was right there in your face, would you know if that was him or not? You know what I'm saying? Good way to start the week off, man. I appreciate y'all again for being up here, being a part of the show, sharing y'all opinions. I think y'all smashed it today, as usual. Let's just keep it moving. You know, I might have to do this again. I like the conspiracy stuff. I do. It really does intrigue me. But outside of that, we about to get up out of here, folks. If you want to stay tapped in, follow. Matter of fact, before I go off, I'm gonna let them do their plug. But follow me on YouTube so that you can keep up with the streams, just in case you don't get notified on Twitter or Facebook or wherever. I respond to everybody. I'm pretty interactive. Nobody's Hollywood up here. It's pretty even keel. I turn it over to Sydney and Rob if y'all want to plug anything before we get up out of here. The floor is yours.
All right. I have the hiccup, so just ignore me. My name is Sydney, for those of you that don't know me. I have my bachelor's in psych, my master's in environmental education, and I love talking about all things all things society, cultural, science, the whole works. I love just talking about the world. So I appreciate everyone that joined us today. If you're interested in connecting with me, I use Blue Sky most often. My name is the Science Squid Poetry. I also have a lot of my writing on All Poetry under the same name. And I also do in-person events and stuff like that. But in the future, if there's ever any topics that you want us to cover, on Wednesdays, we often do scientific topics, and then obviously we do psychology and cultural type topics. Let us know. We love talking about that. So thank you.
Yeah. I wanted to thank you for the poetry last week, Cindy. That was lit. Every time you do poetry, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I know for a fact nobody's doing that. That's original. But I'm Robert Harris, elementary school counselor by day, rapper by night. International Rob is my name. You can find me on Reverb Nation, Spotify, iTunes, Apple, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, Tidal, SoundCloud, most of the major streaming platforms to check out where I'm coming from. And then I also am the Rolling Weave on X, because I do sell hair weave extensions, and I deliver. It's the Rolling Weave store because around the town here, I deliver out my truck. I'll bring you your hair wherever you are. If you're serious about purchasing hair, you can inbox me. I'm on Bring Life Distributions on Instagram, Rolling Weave on X, Rolling Weave on TikTok, Robert Harris on Facebook. And I'm excited to be here. Glad. Check me out. Oh, also International Rob on YouTube if you want to see any of my music videos. Tap in, leave your comments. It's whatever, because I do talk back. And if you have some kind of art or something that you need support for, feel free to message me too, because I love supporting artists. I think we all in the same boat, and everyone deserves a chance to be heard.
Yeah, I already know the vibes, man. The Assembly of Excellence, we only getting stronger by the day. SM, salutes to you, salutes to the people in the panel, the people in the background. Much love to you. Be safe on the road. Keep your mind and your spirit guarded at all times. Do not allow the enemy to take foothold on you. Do not allow anyone to get you out of your square. We will see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Do me a solid before you get up out of here, if you would. Are out. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening.